Today, again, I am going to explain the structure of atom and nuclei. In that, we study about the Bohr's atomic model. So, before start the topic, in last lecture, I explained the drawback of Rutherford atomic model. So, in that, first one is when electron revolves round the nucleus, they are continuously accelerated toward the center of nucleus. So, here it is considered that the revolving electron should be continuously emits energy, and hence the radius of its path should go on decreasing, and ultimately it should be fall into the nucleus. So this electron revolve round the nucleus without falling it. Therefore, Rutherford atom model cannot explain the stability of atom. Then the second one is, if the Rutherford atom model is true, the electron can revolve in orbit of all possible radii, and hence it should emit continuous energy spectrum. However, the atoms like hydrogen possess a line spectrum, and this all atom emits a line spectra, that is the spectra of well defined frequency or wavelength. Thus Rutherford model could not explain atomic spectra. Then here in the next topic we study about this atomic spectra, and what is mean by this atomic spectra. When the metallic object is heated, so it emits a radiation of different frequency, and when this radiation it pass through prism, then it emits a spectrum, or it gives a continuous spectrum. And when this hydrogen gas is heated inside a glass tube of high temperature, so it emits a radiation of different wavelength, and these wavelengths are whenever allowed to pass through prism, then it shows a spectrum, and it is also called as a emission lines. ठीक है, तो ये जो हाइड्रोजन स्पेक्ट्रम है, इसमें हम लोगों को जो भी स्पेक्ट्रम ऑब्जर्व करने के लिए मिल रहा है, इट इज़ इन द फॉर्म ऑफ लाइन, हेंस इट इज़ नोन एज द line spectrum also. Then to study the Bohr's atomic model, so for that in 1913 Bohr suggests a new model for the atom, as Rutherford atom model failed to account for the stability of atom and the emission of line spectra by the atom such as hydrogen. So he considered he retained the essential features of Rutherford atom model, but in order to account for the stability of atom and the line spectra of hydrogen atom, he introduced the concept of stationary orbit. And with respect to this concept of this stationary orbit, he gives a different postulate, and according to that postulate, Bohr's atomic model can be studied. So, first of all, this Neil Bohr modified this Rutherford model by applying the idea of quantum physics, and by using this idea of this quantum physics, so he introduced the first Bohr's postulate. In that he considered, in hydrogen atom, electrons are revolve round the nucleus in a fixed circular orbit with constant speed. So this is the first one Bohr's postulate. उसमें क्या बोला गया है वहाँ पे, in hydrogen atom electrons are revolves round the nucleus in a fixed circular orbit with constant speed. Okay, then the second one postulate is, the radius of orbit of an electron can only take a certain fixed values such that the angular momentum of electron in this orbit is an integral multiple of h upon 2 pi, where h is the Planck constant. So again, I repeat the second postulate. The radius of orbit of an electron can only take a certain fixed value such that angular momentum of electron in this orbit is an integral multiple of h upon 2 pi, where h is the Planck constant. तो ये जो second postulate है, it is quite related to the topic that is the, एक है हम लोगों को ओरिजिन ऑफ मैग्नेटिज्म का कंसेप्ट था आप लोगों को, दैट इज मैग्नेटिक मटेरियल में, उसमें हम लोगों ने एंगुलर मोमेंटम ऑफ रिवॉल्विंग इलेक्ट्रॉन वहाँ पे फाइंड आउट किया था। तो वैसा ही कुछ इक्वेशन यहाँ पे भी है, दैट इज, और वहाँ पे बोला गया है दिस एंगुलर मोमेंटम ऑफ द इलेक्ट्रॉन is an integral multiple of h upon 2 pi. तो angular momentum it is nothing but mvr, ठीक है, and it is mvr, it is equals to क्या आएगा फिर nh upon 2 pi. Then the third one postulate is an electron can make a transition from one of its orbit to another orbit having lower energy. In doing so, it emits a photon of energy equals to difference in its energy in the two orbit. It means that this electron jump from higher energy level to lower energy level. When it jumps from this higher energy level to lower energy level, then it emits its energy in the form of photon, and hence here we say that it emits a photon of energy equal to the difference in its energy in the two orbit. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे इलेक्ट्रॉन कहाँ पे जंप कर रहे, एक ऑर्बिट से दूसरे ऑर्बिट में जंप कर रहे, सो ड्यू टू दैट it emits its energy in the form of this photon. So consider करो कि एक EM, that is the energy of electron in higher orbit, ठीक है, कंसिडर करेंगे हम लोग, सपोज हियर आई राइट दिस EM, it denotes the energy of electron in higher orbit. Then consider करो this En, this En is the energy of electron in lower orbit. तो इसी में फिर डिफरेंस कंसिडर करेंगे, दैट इज EM माइनस En एंड इट इज इक्वल्स टू क्या आएगा h न्यू, ठीक है। तो इसलिए बोला गया है इन इलेक्ट्रॉन कैन मेक अ ट्रांजिशन फ्रॉम वन ऑफ इट्स ऑर्बिट टू अनदर ऑर्बिट हैविंग लोअर एनर्जी. In doing so, it emits a photon of energy equal to difference in its energy in the two orbit. तो सिंपल हम लोग क्या थर्ड पोस्टुलेट में क्या करेंगे, हम लोग वहाँ पे ये याद रखेंगे कि इलेक्ट्रॉन जम्प फ्रॉम हायर ऑर्बिट, so higher orbit it is considered as the suppose m orbit, and it is jump into this lower orbit, and this lower orbit it is denoted by this n. तो इसीलिए यहाँ पे डिफरेंस इन एनर्जी कंसीडर किया है, दैट इज EM माइनस EN, इट इज इक्वल्स टू क्या आएगा h न्यू, ठीक है, इट इज इक्वल्स टू आएगा यहाँ पे h न्यू. So this is the Bohr's third one postulate. So here then, so these are the three Bohr's postulate. So here while explaining the first one postulate, so here I say that in hydrogen atom the electron revolve around a nucleus in a fixed circular orbit with a constant speed. So whenever it revolve in a fixed circular orbit, so here we consider the centripetal force required for the circular motion is provided by electrostatic force of attraction between the positive charge nucleus and negative charge electron. So here Bohr's atomic model can be explained with the help of three postulates. Then by using these three postulates, here we study one derivation, and in that derivation we find out radius of Bohr's orbit in atom. So for that, first of all, consider one atom. We know that whenever we consider one atom, so the central part is known as the nucleus, and electrons are revolving around it. So let Me be the mass of electron. Then minus E denotes the charge on electron. Let Rn be the radius of nth Bohr orbit. Then Bn, it denotes the linear velocity of electron in nth orbit. Then let this Z denote the number of electrons in an atom, and N denotes the principal quantum number. Then by using the first one postulate, the first one postulate is in hydrogen atom, electrons are revolved around the nucleus in a fixed circular orbit with constant speed. So by using this first one postulate, here we consider the Coulomb force, it is equals to centripetal force, because we know that the centripetal force is required for the circular motion is provided by the electrostatic force of attraction between positively charged nucleus and negatively charged electron. That's why here we write the Coulomb force, it is equals to centripetal force. This Coulomb force, it is denoted by a symbol F suffix E, and the centripetal force, it is denoted by FCP. Therefore we write this Coulomb force can be written as Z E square upon 4 pi epsilon 0 R0 square, and the centripetal force, it is equals to Me Vn square upon Rn, because here we consider the nth orbit. That's why here we write Vn and Rn. Therefore we write Vn square, it is equals to Z E square upon 4 pi epsilon 0 Rn Me. So this is our equation number 1. Then by using the second postulate, the second postulate is radius of orbit of an electron can only take certain fixed value such that the angular momentum of the electron in this orbit is an integral multiple of h upon 2 pi, where h is the Planck constant. So with respect to this second postulate, here we write MVR, that is MEVNRN, it is equals to NH upon 2 pi. Then therefore we write this, here we take a square on both the side. Then we write Me square Vn square Rn square, it is equals to n square h square upon 4 pi square. Therefore Vn square, it is equals to n square h square upon 4 pi square Me square Rn square. So this is our equation number 2. Now from equation 1 and 2 we write n square h square upon 4 pi square Me square Rn square, it is equals to Ze square upon 4 pi epsilon 0 Rn Me square. Because here we equating this two equation number 1 and 2, because in both the equation Vn square term is common. That's why here we equate the equation number 1 and 2. Therefore this Rn, it is equals to n square h square epsilon 0 upon pi m e z e square. Therefore Rn it is equals to epsilon 0, in bracket we write epsilon 0 h square upon pi m e z e square, bracket close, and outside the bracket here we write n square. So this bracket quantity consider as a constant, and this constant quantity suppose it is denoted by this a0, and here we write n square. So here the Rn it is equals to a0 n square. So this is required expression for radius of nth orbit. Then from this equation 3, here we consider this epsilon 0, pi, m, e, z and e are constant. Whenever this quantity are constant, so here we write Rn is directly proportional to n square. ठीक है, तो इक्वेशन नंबर 3 के लिए ही नेक्स्ट वाला स्टेप क्या आएगा, Rn इज डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू n स्क्वायर. ठीक है, वहाँ पे ब्लैक बोर्ड पे जगह नहीं है इसलिए लिखा नहीं है, तो वहाँ पे आप लोग अपने नोटबुक में नोट डाउन करेंगे Rn इज डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू n स्क्वायर. सो from this it is clear that the radius of nth Bohr orbit, for that this radius is proportional to the square of the principal quantum number. Here this n denotes the principal quantum number. ठीक है, तो ये जो रेडियस है, दिस रेडियस ये क्या हो रहा है, रेडियस इज proportional to square of the principal quantum number, and this is the derivation for radius of Bohr's orbit in an atom. Now in the next topic, here we find out the maximum angular speed of an electron moving in a stable orbit around the nucleus of hydrogen atom. For that again we use Bohr's postulate, that is the first one postulate and second one postulate, and with respect to this first one and second one postulate we find out the angular speed of electron. So first of all, here we write according to Bohr's first postulate, we write MEVn square upon Rn it is equals to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 e square upon r n square. तो यहाँ पे जैसे मैंने बोला था कि whenever the electrons are revolve, then the centripetal force is required for the circular motion is provided by electrostatic force of attraction between positive charge nucleus and negative charge electron. That's why here this MEVn square upon Rn it denotes the centripetal force, and this 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 e square upon Rn square it denotes the electrostatic force. So here we write MEVn square Rn it is equals to e square upon 4 pi epsilon 0. So this is our equation number 1. Then by using the second postulate, we write this MEVn Rn it is equals to NH upon 2 pi. So this is the equation number 2, because the angular momentum of electron is an integral multiple of h upon 2 pi. So this angular momentum it is denoted by this MEVn and Rn, and it is equals to the integral multiple of h upon 2 pi. So here again we consider the nth orbit. For that here we write this nh upon 2 pi. Then where this n denotes the प्रिंसिपल क्वांटम नंबर. ठीक है, यहाँ पे हम लोगों ने nth ऑर्बिट कंसीडर किया इसलिए Rn लिखा है, and this n denotes the principal quantum number. Then dividing equation 1 by 2, अगर 1/2 करेंगे तो हम लोगों को मिलेगा फिर Vn इट इज़ इक्वल्स टू ई स्क्वायर अपॉन 4 पाई एप्सिलॉन 0 इंटू 2 पाई अपॉन NH and it is equals to, so here in bracket we write E square upon 2 epsilon 0 H into 1 upon N. But we know that this Vn it is equals to Rn omega. So here this formula we already used in circular motion concept. In that we simply write this V it is the product of R into omega. तो वही वाला फॉर्मूला हम लोग ने यहाँ पे यूज़ किया है. So here we write for this nth orbit we write Vn it is equals to Rn omega, and therefore we write this Rn it is equals to epsilon 0 n square h square upon pi me e square. Therefore we write omega it is equals to Vn upon Rn. So here it is equals to e square upon 2 epsilon 0 h into 1 upon n upon epsilon 0 n square h square upon pi me e square. Therefore we write this omega it is equals to e square upon 2 epsilon 0 h n into pi me e square upon epsilon 0 n square h square. Then here we write this w it is equals to pi me e raised to power 4 upon 2 epsilon 0 square h cube, then bracket close, into 1 upon n cube. Then by knowing the value of this n, maximum angular speed of electron can be calculated. So here we find out the maximum angular speed of electron. तो यहाँ पे ये जो इक्वेशन है that is this Rn it is equals to epsilon 0 n square h square upon pi me e square. तो ये इक्वेशन हम लोगों ने ऑलरेडी पहले वाले डेरिवेशन में फाइंड आउट किया है, यानी दोनों अगर फोर्स को हम लोग इक्वेट करेंगे, सो आफ्टर इक्वेटिंग दिस इक्वेशन 1 and 2 we can find out the value of this Rn, and this Rn value can be calculated as Rn equals to epsilon 0 n square h square upon pi me e square. तो इसीलिए यहाँ पे ये जो Rn का वैल्यू है यहाँ पे डायरेक्टली अभी यूज़ किया है, बिकॉज वी ऑलरेडी studied in earlier derivation. So here we find out the maximum angular speed of electron moving in a stable orbit around the nucleus of hydrogen atom. Now next one is expression for energy of electron. So in that derivation we find out the value of this total energy, and this total energy it is the sum of kinetic energy and potential energy. So here we first of all find out the kinetic energy, then potential energy, and then we find out this total energy. And this total energy it is nothing but the energy of an electron. So to study that derivation, first of all consider me be the mass of electron. Let Rn it denotes the radius of nth orbit of Bohr's hydrogen atom. Then Vn denotes the velocity of electron. Minus E it denotes the charge on electron. Then plus E it denotes the charge on nucleus. Then Z denotes the number of electrons in an atom. So here, according to the Bohr's first postulate, the Bohr's first postulate is in an hydrogen atom electron revolve around the nucleus in a fixed circular orbit with a constant speed, then a centripetal force is required for the circular motion. It is provided by the electrostatic force of attraction between positive charge nucleus and negative charge electron. तो ये जो हम लोग एनर्जी ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन फाइंड आउट कर रहे हैं फॉर हाइड्रोजन एटम के लिए, तो पहले आप लोगों की माइंड में फिर एक डायग्राम आना चाहिए. एक न्यूक्लियस रहेगा, दैट इज द पॉजिटिव चार्ज न्यूक्लियस. देन one electron is revolving around this nucleus. So here consider that according to the first one postulate, so whenever this electron revolve, so definitely it experience a centripetal force and it is balanced by or provided by the electrostatic force of attraction between positive charge nucleus and negative charge electron. So according to that, here we write me Vn square upon Rn, it is equals to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 into Z E square upon Rn square. So here this epsilon 0, it denotes the permittivity of free space. Then with respect to this equation, here we write therefore this me Vn square, it is equals to Z upon 4 pi epsilon 0 into E square upon Rn. So this is the equation number 1. Now the revolving electron in the circular orbit has linear speed and hence it possesses a kinetic energy. यानी इलेक्ट्रॉन अगर रिवॉल्व हो रहा है, it means that some amount of energy is there, and this energy, it is nothing but a kinetic energy. Hence here we consider this kinetic energy having formula is half mv square. So according to that equation, here we write this kinetic energy, it is equals to half, then we write me Vn square. Then next we consider this kinetic energy, it is equals to half into, then here we write from equation 1. ठीक है, इक्वेशन 1 से ही अभी हम लोग यहाँ पे ये वैल्यू यहाँ पे लिखेंगे डायरेक्टली. सो हियर वी राइट इन ब्रैकेट z अपॉन 4 पाई एप्सिलॉन 0 इंटू ई स्क्वायर अपॉन Rn. Here we write since from equation 1. Therefore next one, therefore this kinetic energy, it is equals to Z E square upon 8 pi epsilon 0 Rn. So this is the equation number 2. Then next one is to find out the potential energy. To find out the potential energy, here we consider potential energy of electron is given by Pe, it is equals to V, in bracket we write minus E, where this V, it denotes the electric potential at any point due to charge on nucleus, and this minus E, it denotes the charge on electron. So by using this formula, that is Pe equals to V, in bracket we write minus E. So according to that equation, here we write this potential energy, it is equals to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 into E upon Rn into, then in bracket we write minus Ze. Therefore this Pe, it is equals to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 into minus Z E square upon Rn. So here we write therefore this Pe, it is equals to minus Z E square upon 4 pi epsilon 0 Rn. So this is our equation number 3. So here we write, now to find out this total energy, the total energy of electron in any orbit is the sum of potential energy and kinetic energy. So here we write this total energy, it is equals to Ke plus Pe. Here we substitute the value of Ke and Pe in that equation. Then we write total energy. It is equals to, the value of this Ke is Z E square upon 4 pi epsilon 0 Rn plus. Then in next bracket we write the value of this potential energy as minus Z E square upon 4 pi epsilon 0 Rn. Then by solving this equation, so the value of this total energy is, it is equals to minus Z E square upon 8 pi epsilon 0 Rn. So this is our equation number 4. Then in earlier derivation, that is to find out, here we find out the radius of Bohr's orbit. तो ये अर्लियर डेरिवेशन में हम लोगों ने रेडियस ऑफ बोर्स ऑर्बिट में उसका वैल्यू हम लोगों ने फाइंड आउट किया था, दैट इज आर एन. इट इज इक्वल्स टू, in bracket we write epsilon 0 h square upon pi me z e square, then outside में आएगा फिर n square, and then we consider this bracket quantity as a constant, and then we show that this Rn is directly proportional to n square. तो वो जो ब्रैकेट वाला कांस्टेंट टर्म हम लोगों ने जो यूज़ किया था, हियर वी यूज़ दैट term, and with respect to that term we find out the total energy of electron. So हम लोग नेक्स्ट साइड में कंटिन्यू करेंगे इसी को. Now we reach at the equation number 4, and this equation number 4 is total energy, it is equals to minus Z E square upon 8 pi epsilon 0 Rn, and here we consider the value of this Rn according to the radius of this Bohr orbit. Here we use this Rn, it is equals to, in bracket we write epsilon 0 h square upon pi me z e square, then outside the bracket here we write into n square. So substituting for Rn in equation number 4, तो इक्वेशन नंबर 4 में Rn वाला एक टर्म था, उसी में हम लोग ये वैल्यू सब्सटीट्यूट करेंगे, and then we find out the value of this total energy of electron. So here we write this total energy, it is equals to minus 1 upon 8 pi epsilon 0 into Z E square upon, then in bracket we write epsilon 0 h square upon pi me z e square bracket close into n square. So it is equals to minus 1 upon 8 pi epsilon 0 into, ठीक है, ये वाला जो टर्म है इसको हम लोग ऊपर लेके जाएंगे. देन ऊपर लेके जाने के बाद हम लोग को आएगा फिर ब्रैकेट में क्वांटिटी z स्क्वायर e raised to power 4 me pi upon epsilon 0 h square into 1 upon n square. Then in the next term, here this pi and pi will get cancelled, and then we write this total energy, it is equals to minus me z square e raised to power 4 upon 8 epsilon 0 square h square into 1 upon n square. So this is required expression for energy of electron in nth orbit of Bohr's hydrogen atom. Then so here this negative sign shows that, ठीक है, ये जो negative sign है, it shows that the electron is bound to the nucleus. Electron is bound to the nucleus by an attractive force, and hence energy must be supplied to the electron in order to make it free from the influence of the nucleus. So this is the significance of this negative sign. So here this substituting the value of this constant, that is me, then e, h and epsilon 0. तो ये जो me था, this me denotes the mass of electron, then e denotes the charge on electron, then h is the Planck constant, epsilon 0 it denotes the permittivity of free space. By substituting its standard value, then the energy of electron can be written as, that is En, it is equals to minus 13.6 z square upon n square eV. So this is the derivation for the energy of electron, and here this derivation can be find out by using the concept of radius of Bohr's orbit, and in that we study about this Rn is directly proportional to n square, is directly proportional to n square. So by using this equation here we find out the total energy, that is the energy of this electron. So in the next time we study about the origin of spectral line.